Bhagavatamrita, Adilila, chapter 7, verse 51. 59. कतेक सुनिब प्रभु तोमारो निंदन, कतेक सुनिब प्रभु तोमारो निंदन, ना पारी कहितेबे छाड़िब जीवन, ना पारी कहितेबे छाड़िब जीवन, तोमारी निंदई जत सन्यासीर गुण, तोमारी निंदई जत सन्यासीर गुण, सुनिते ना पारी फाटे हृदय श्रवण, सुनिते ना पारी फाटे इहा सुनी रहे प्रभु ईशत हासिया, इहा सुनी रहे प्रभु ईशत हासिया, सेई काले एक विप्रो मिलिल आसिया, सेई काले एक विप्रो मिलिल आसिया, आसि निवेदन करी चरण धरिया, आसि निवेदन करी चरण धरिया, एक वस्तु मागुम देह प्रसन्न हइया, एक वस्तु मागु देह प्रसन्न हइया। कदेक सुनिब प्रभु तोमार निंदन, ना पारी सहिते वे छाड़िब जीवन। इतिमध्ये चंद्रशेखर मिश्र तपन दुखिया प्रभु पाए कइल निवेदन। While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing Sanatana Goswami, both Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra became very unhappy. Therefore they submitted an appeal unto the lotus feet of the Lord. How long can we tolerate the blasphemy of your critics against your conduct? We should give up our lives rather than hear such blasphemy. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. One of the most important instructions by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regarding regular Vaishnava behavior is that a Vaishnava should be tolerant like a tree and submissive like grass. Tunadapi sunichena taroriva sahisnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Nevertheless, the author of these instructions, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, didn't tolerate the misbehavior of Jagai and Madhai. When they harmed Lord Nityananda Prabhu, immediately became angry and wanted to kill them. It was only by the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu that they were saved. One should be very meek and humble in his personal transactions. And if insulted, a Vaishnava should be tolerant and not angry. But if there is blasphemy against one's guru or another Vaishnava, one should be as angry as fire. This was exhibited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One should not tolerate blasphemy against a Vaishnava, but should immediately take one of the three actions. If someone blasphemes a Vaishnava, one should stop him with arguments and higher reason. If one is not expert enough to do this, he should give up his life on the spot. And if he cannot do this, he must go away. While Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Banaras or Kashi, the Mayavadi sannyasis blasphemed him in many ways, because although he was a sannyasi, he was indulging in chanting and dancing. Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar heard this criticism, and it was intolerable for them because they were great devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They couldn't stop it, however, and therefore they appealed to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because this blasphemy was intolerable and they had decided to give up their lives. তোমারে নিন্দয়ে যত সন্ন্যাসীর গণ শুনিতে না পারি ফাটে হৃদয় শ্রবণ. The Mayavadi sannyasis are all criticizing your holiness. We cannot tolerate hearing such criticism, for this blasphemy breaks our hearts. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is a manifestation of real love for Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are three categories of Vaishnavas: Kanishtadhikaris, Madhyamadhikaris and Uttamadhikaris. The Kanishtadhikari, or the devotee in the lowest stage of Vaishnava life, has firm faith but is not familiar with the conclusions of the Shastras. The devotee in the second stage, the Madhyamadhikari, is completely aware of the Shastric conclusion and has firm faith in his Guru and the Lord. He therefore, avoiding non-devotees, preaches to the innocent. However, the Mahabhagavata Uttamadhikari, the devotee in the highest stage of devotional service, doesn't see anyone as being against the Vaishnava principles, for he regards everyone as a Vaishnava but himself. This is the essence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction that one be more tolerant than a tree and think oneself lower than the straw in the street. However, even if a devotee is in the Uttam Bhagavata status, he must come down to the second status of life, Madhyamadhikari, to be a preacher. For a preacher should not tolerate blasphemy against another Vaishnava. Although a Kanishtadhikari also cannot tolerate such blasphemy, he is not competent to stop it by citing Shastric evidences. Therefore, Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar are understood to be Kanishtadhikaris because they couldn't refute the arguments of the sannyasis in Banaras. They appealed to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take action, for they felt that they couldn't tolerate such criticism, although they also couldn't stop it. Yaha suni rahe Prabhu Ishata hasya, sei kale eko vipra milila asya. While Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar were thus talking with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he only smiled slightly and remained silent. At that time, a Brahman came there to meet the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Because the blasphemy was cast against Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he didn't feel sorry, and therefore he was smiling. This is ideal Vaishnava behavior. One should not become angry upon hearing criticism of himself, but if other Vaishnavas are criticized, one must be prepared to act as previously suggested. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very compassionate for his pure devotees, Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhara. Therefore, by his grace, this Brahmana immediately came to him. By his omnipotency, the Lord created this situation for the happiness of his devotees. ଏ ଶ୍ରୀମନ୍ ମହାପ୍ରଭୁଙ୍କ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଅନୁଯାୟୀ ଏ କଥା ଆସିଲା। ଆସି ନିବେଦନ କରି ଚରଣ ଧରିଆ ଏକ ବସ୍ତୁ ମାଗନ୍ତେ ହୋ ପ୍ରସନ୍ନ ହଇଆ। The Brahman immediately fell at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and requested him to accept his proposal in a joyful mood. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Vedic injunction states, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. One must approach a superior authority in humbleness, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One must challenge a superior authority, but with great submission, one can submit his proposal for acceptance by the spiritual master or spiritual authorities. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an ideal teacher by his personal behavior, and so also are all his disciples. Thus, this Brahman, being purified in association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, followed these principles in submitting his request to the higher authority. He fell down at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then spoke as follows. Maitriya Chorana Krishna Prema Krishna Bhakti Maitriya Chorana Bali Sete Krupa Dvesi Upekhyana Bali Sete Krupa Korile Madhyama Bhakta Sudha Bhakta Hana Korile Madhyama Bhakta Sudha Bhakta Hana Krishna Nami Adhikaro Korino Arjuna Krishna Nami Adhikaro Korino Arjuna Madhyam Adhikari. Here Srila Kaviraj Goswami says that Chandrasekhar and Tapar Mishra became very unhappy when they heard the blasphemy of Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Mayavadi sannyasis headed by Prakashananda Saraswati of Kashi were blaspheming, you see, Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting Hare Krishna with devotees and dancing in the street. And these Mayavadi sannyasis in Kashi, they were saying, what sort of sannyasis? That's not the duty of a work of a sannyasi. Sannyasi should not dance or chant and dance. Sannyasi will study Vedanta and meditate. Was chanting and dancing. Sannyasi nama matra bado indrajali. Kashipure naam echabe tar bhavo kali. They said like that. Is by name only sannyasi. Is not real sannyasi. Rather a magician. A great magician. Only is showing some magic. But in Kashipur, he cannot be successful here in selling his magic here. They criticize like that. So when Tapan Mishra, Chandrasekhar couldn't tolerate this thing because they are dear devotees of follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's just quite natural state. One should not, one who is real devotee, Vaishnava, should not tolerate blasphemy of Sadhu, Guru, Shastra. Other Vaishnava or Guru or Shastra should not tolerate. He should be very angry. Though a Vaishnava is naturally tolerant as a tree. and thinks himself to be Sunichina, more insignificant than a straw on the street. Very humble. No pride, no false pride, false ego. Very humble. Amani, Manada, doesn't demand respect, rather he gives one and all respect. Unless this attitude, bhav is there, one cannot do Hari Bhajan. This is Mahaprabhu's Sikhya. When Jagai and Madhai blasphemy, even Nityananda Prabhu was beaten by Jagai and Madhai. You see, Mahaprabhu became intolerant. He wanted to kill them. But see, Nityananda Prabhu tolerated this thing. Because it's personal blasphemy. So Vaishnava will tolerate it. But Vaishnava cannot tolerate the blasphemy of other Vaishnava, or the Lord, or Shastra. So Mahaprabhu was intolerant. But by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, they were saved. That is there. This is, by example, Mahaprabhu had taught us. So, when they, Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, said this thing, that this Mayavad is headed by Prakashananda, were saying like this. It's very unbearable, intolerable in our part. We cannot hear, we'll finish our life. Three things have to be done. If you have power, then present strong Shastric injunctions and stop speaking their tongue. They cannot say so. If you have no power to present Shastric injunctions and cannot stop talking, their tongue you cannot stop. So you should finish your life, or you leave that place. Out of these three, one must be done. So Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar, they were Kanishta Adhikaris. They didn't know Shastric injunctions. They couldn't make these sannyasis stop their mouth. So they appealed to Srimad Mahaprabhu. And Srimad Mahaprabhu only smiled because it is personal blasphemy. But he saw his dear devotees. Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra were very unhappy, so he should give them pleasure. Therefore, his supreme personality, his supreme will. So according to his supreme will, a Brahman came who arranged a assembly of sannyasis. So he came to invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to that assembly. Generally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not accepting any invitation. He was not associating with these Mayavadi sannyasis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Mayavadi bhashya sunile hoy sarvanas. Mayavadi Krishna prati. These Mayavadis were great offenders at the lotus feet of Krishna. One should not associate with them, should not listen to their philosophy. If someone will do so, he will be doomed. You understand? But Mahaprabhu has come to deliver one and all. One and all. He is most munificent. Adbhuta Udarja, Adbhuta Vadanya, Adbhuta Karunya. Wonderfully munificent, wonderfully merciful, wonderfully magnificent. Magnanimous heart, Mahaprabhu. You understand? There is no such incarnation of the Lord, like the Mahaprabhu avatar, Chaitanya avatar. And he had come to shower his mercy upon one and all. Nobody will accept it. How these Mayavadis couldn't be delivered. So he should shower his mercy. Unless Mahaprabhu showers his mercy, the Mayavadis could not be delivered. No. So Mahaprabhu also showered his mercy upon such greatest offenders, Mahabharats. Therefore he stopped there in Banaras. You understand? And by his supreme will that assembly was arranged. And he accepted that invitation and would go there. Later, discussions reveal that thing. Another thing is there. When Mahaprabhu heard this, he only smiled. Then he said, because they were criticizing, Kashipure na bechebe toma bhavakali. He had come here to sell his bhavakali, his magic. But in Kashipur, he couldn't sell it. When Mahaprabhu heard, Mahaprabhu said, Bhavakali bechite ailam Kashipura. ग्राहक को ना मिले फिर आया नबू घर I have come to Kashipur to sell my Bhavakali magic, but I find no customer is there. So how can I sell? So I will take it back home to my home. Then said, Bhari bojhalo yahan ailu, kemane फिर आया नबू अल्प स्वल्प मूल्य पाइले एठाई बेचियो. I have come with a very big load, you see, very heavy load. But I couldn't find a customer here. What shall I do? And how can I take it back? Such a heavy load. No. I will sell it here. If I get very meager price, I'll sell it here. Because he has come to shower his mercy to these Mahabharats. Do you understand? They will never pay the good price. Still I'll sell them. He said like that. And another point is there, this adhikaris, Kanishta adhikari, Madhyama adhikari and Uttama adhikari. That vichar is here. Who is Kanishta adhikari? Who is Madhyama adhikari? And who is Uttama adhikari? You understand? In Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned, also in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is also mentioned. Vaishnava K. Do you understand? When Mahaprabhu was here in this Puri, Purushottam Dham, and Purushottam Dham, he was instructing his followers, devotees. He was instructing the inhabitants of Kulyagram when they asked, what is our duty? The Mahaprabhu said, Vaishnava Sevana Krishna Pujana, Nirantara Karo Krishna Nam Sankirtan. This is your duty. You should do like that. You must serve Vaishnava. You understand? Thereby Krishna will be pleased, Krishna will be worshipped. And always chant the holy name of Krishna. Then they asked, who is Vaishnava? Who is Vaishnava? To whom will serve? Then Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kahe jar mukhe suni ekabar Krishna naam pujya sei shrestha savaga. 3 Vaishnavas he said. Once you have heard, was uttered name of Krishna in his mouth. He is Vaishnava. He is to be worshipped. You understand? Then said, Krishna naam nirantara jahar bodhani, se Vaishnava shrestha bhaja tahar charani. If someone is chanting Krishna naam always, you understand? He is a topmost Vaishnava, and you should worship his lotus feet. Then he said, Jahar darshani mukhya aise Krishna naam, tahare janiyo tumi Vaishnava pradhan. If by Meeting such person, if automatically Krishna Nam is uttered in the person who meets, you should understand that he is the topmost Vaishnava. This is Vaishnava Pradhan. You understand? This is Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, in other words, and Uttamadhikari. जार मुखे सुनी एक बार कृष्ण नाम पूज्य से ही श्रेष्ठ सभागा. He is Vaishnava. Once you have heard, he has uttered Krishna Nam. He is Vaishnava. It has very deep purport. Nam means pure name, pure Krishna Nam. If once uttered, then he is Vaishnava. Someone says, I am always saying Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, wrong, always. But no pure name is offensive name. You understand? That's not the point. Offenseless name, pure name once uttered. He is Vaishnava. He should be worshipped. Then Vaishnava Tora, superior to him. Krishna Nam Nirantara Jahara Vadane, who always chants pure name. You understand? He is Vaishnava Srestha Bhajatahara Sarani. He is superior to that person, was once uttered. His comparative degree. Then, superlative degree says, Vaishnava Tama. Jahara darsane mukhya aise Krishna Nam, tahare janiyo tumi Vaishnava Pradhan. You see? By meeting who is the topmost Vaishnava, is Uttamadhikari, Mahabhagavat. By only meeting, seeing him, automatically Krishna Nam is uttered in the lips of the person who sees. And you should understand that he is the supermost Vaishnava. Like that, Mahaprabhu says. And Srimad Bhagavata says, who is Kanishtadhikari? Archayam eva haraye jah pujang sudayate. Na tad bhakteshu channeshu sabhakta prakrita smritaha. 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam says. Is Kanishtadhikari who worships deities in the temple. And only he knows Bhagavan is here. He never sees Bhagavan everywhere. And he disregards, he doesn't pay proper respect or regard to the devotees and other Vaishnavas, other jivas also. He is Kanishtadhikari. You understand? Prakrita smrita. Lowest type. Madhyamadhikari. Ishware tadadhineshu baliseshu dvisatsu cha prema maitri kripa pekkya ja karoti sa madhyama. Srimad Bhagavata 11th canto says this thing. Who is Madhyama? Who has developed love towards the Supreme Lord? Who has established friendship with the equal Vaishnavas, those who are of same status, and who showers his mercy upon the most ignorant fools, Mudha. Do you understand? He is ignorant fool. And who avoids this blasphemers, Dveshupekhyana. He avoids them, never talks to them. He is Madhyamadhikari. Because Madhyamadhikari discriminates. There is a question of discrimination in Madhyama stage. In Uttama stage, this discrimination is not there. You understand? That is the stated. Which is Uttamadhikari. Srimad Bhagavata 11th canto says, Sarva bhuteshu ja pasyet bhagavata bhavamatmanaha bhutani bhagavatyatmanni saha bhagavatattamaha. You understand? Everywhere he sees Krishna. Everywhere. You understand? Everywhere he sees. Jahan jahan netra pade, tahan Krishna's pade. Wherever he looks, is only Krishna. He never sees anything but Krishna. And he says Krishna is super soul in all living entities. As Srila Prabhupada said here in his purport, he never considers any living entity as a Vaishnava. They all are Vaishnava. All are devotees. Because Jiva is Swarupa Hoy Krishna, that's the real identity of a Jiva, is an eternal servant of Krishna. You understand? So all are part and parcel, eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So all are Chidanandamoy, Sadanandamoy. All are devotees, bhaktas, Vaishnavas. But me, except me, I am not a bhakta. All are superior, more elevated than myself. I am the lowest of the low. He is Uttam. Do you understand? He is Uttam, he says. Thabar Jangon dekhe na dekhe tar murti, sarvatra spuroy tar ishtadev murti. He sees animate objects, inanimate objects, but only he sees his Ishta, is Krishna only. Do you understand? Everywhere he sees. He is Uttama Adhikari. Vishrati Hudem na jasya sakyat darirvasa bhito apya ghogonasa pranaya rasanaya dhruta ngrisadma sa bhavati bhagavata pradhana ukta. 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam says this thing. Only by reciting the name of whom, that means Lord's name, all sins are destroyed. Do you understand? That Lord Hari is bound up in the heart of such devotee with the rope of love. Though that Lord Hari is all powerful, still he becomes powerless to break that bondage. You understand? Bondage of love. Such a devotee has bound up Lord Hari in his heart with this bondage of love. And that Lord Hari never lifts that his heart. Pranaya rasana ya dhrutangri sadamaha sabhavati bhagavata. He is sabvattam bhagavata. Uttam bhagavata. Uttam adhikari. You understand? That's Srimad Bhagavatam says. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is said, Shraddhavan jano hai bhakti adhikari, uttama madhyama kanishta shraddhanusari, Shastra sukte suni purna drudha shraddhadar uttama adhikari taha sei taroy sansar. Shastra sukte nahi jane drudha shraddhavan madhyama adhikari sei mahabhagyavan. Jahar komal shraddha se kanishta jano krame krame tyam bhakta haive uttama. Chaitanya Charitamrita says. Which uttama is according to Shraddha. Shraddha anusari. Uttama madhyama kanishta. Shraddha means faith, strong faith. Do you understand? Shraddha sabde vishwasa kahe dudha nishchay. This Shraddha. Shraddha means strong faith. According to faith, Shraddha. Shastra jukte sunipun, dudha shraddha. One is very expert in presenting shastric injunction, conclusions, and was firm faith in Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vibhu, Lord. He is Uttama Adhikari. Do you understand? He is Uttama Adhikari. He can, only one devotee of this type can deliver the whole world. Taroy sansar. Do you understand? And who is Madhyam? Shastra Shakti nahi jane drudha shraddhaman madhyam adhikari sei mahabhagyavan. He is Madhyam who doesn't know many shastric injunctions, just a few. You understand? But very strong faith he has in Sadhu Guru, Shastra and Lord. He is Madhyam adhikari. He is very fortunate. And in the course of time, by associating with Uttama Adhikaris, he will be limited to that stage, Uttama Adhikar stage. And which Kanishta Jana, Komala Shraddha, Jahar Komala Shraddha, se Kanishta Jana, Krame Krame Tyam Bhakta hi Uttama. Komala Shraddha, very soft faith. Faith is not so strong. You understand? He is Kanishta. is Kanistha. Faith is not so strong. He'll be diverted. He'll fall down. Is Kanistha. Krame, gradually, by associating with more elevated devotees, he can elevate himself. You understand? This is stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita. You understand? Here, this Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, they are Kanistha Adhikaris. They couldn't present such Shastric injunctions, strong Shastric injunctions and stop the mouth of this personally, so this Mayavadis. So they appeared to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the will of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes.
So what is the difference between a Uttama Adhikari and a Mahabhagavat?
Same.
Same.
Jnana Bhagavatam, Mahabharata. But those were preachers. Those were acharyas preaching. They are of Uttamadhikari stage, but they have stepped down one step, come to the Madhyamadhikari level. Otherwise they cannot preach, because Uttamadhikari never sees anybody a Vaishnava. They are Vaishnavas, all are devotees, all are sadhus. You understand? So he cannot preach. He cannot discriminate. So in Madhyama stage, preacher discriminates. He is an ignorant fool. He doesn't know anything. He serves his mercy. He is a Vaishnava like me. So he keeps friendship with him. You understand? But blasphemer like this, Mayavad is like this. He avoids them. He doesn't talk with them. That's Madhyam. Discrimination is there. But in Uttama, no discrimination. So Uttama Adhikaris, those are acharyas coming and preaching, they step down. They act like a Madhyama Adhikari. You understand? And when such it's very exceptional cases, when they will be preaching, they preach with bhav, you see. And they have control over their bhav. But with preaching. When it was instance was there in this Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada and my revered spiritual master, when they couldn't control their bhav, they immediately get up from the seat and enter into the room and shut up the door. Because they won't display this thing before this audience. No, because they cannot understand this thing. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaja doing like that. It's very exceptional. Not always. When it is beyond control, too much power, that should not be displayed before public. Those who are sahajas, they do it. They do it. That's the real bhav. They just display it in order to attract their attention. They'll say, oh, great Vaishnava, is crying and rolling, you see, like this, sahajas. But real Vaishnava never does that. So Govinda Raj, you could understand? Any question in the evening?
Yes.
Not now. Questions are in evening. Hari Hari Hari. Animal.
Secretary Senior.